You made the heavens, planted the earth, gave us stars for direction. But what was it worth if we don't have love? Oh, your perfect love. You filled the oceans, painted the sky, gave us each other. So tell me why, why we're lacking love. Oh, why we're lacking love. Oh, can't you see the darkness trying to divide? Yeah, you know it's up to us to keep shining bright and let our hearts stay lifted high. Oh, can't you see the darkness trying to divide? My Lord, you know it's up to us to keep shining bright and let our hearts stay lifted high. Oh, you can prophesy, speak in the tongues you made, but if you don't have compassion, how will they understand that we were made from love? Oh, we were made from love. Oh, yeah. Oh, can't you see the darkness trying to divide? My Lord, you know it's up to us to keep shining bright and let our hearts stay lifted high. Oh, can't you see the darkness trying to divide? Oh, you know it's up to us to keep shining bright and let our hearts stay lifted high. Time to spread more love. Oh, perfect love, supernatural love. Your love.
That was True Osborne, everybody. True Osborne. Welcome to Spirituality Gone Wild. I am Debbie G. It's time for a Cuppa Grata with a shot of expression and 2 squirts of reality. Today we have 3 squirts of reality because we have the glorious Andi and Jonathan Goldman coming to the stage in a moment. But first, we're going to start our morning off with a little bit of the Tao Te Ching. Just quickly. Today is the 42nd verse. The Tao gave birth to 1. 1 gave birth to 2. 2 gave birth to 3. And 3 begat 10,000 things. The 10,000 things carry yin and embrace yang. They achieve harmony by combining these forces. People suffer at the thought of being without parents, without food, or without worth. Yet this is the very way that kings and lords once described themselves, for one gains by losing and loses by gaining. What others taught, I teach. The violent do not die a natural death. That is my fundamental teaching. This is living by melting into harmony with Dr. Wayne Dyer. Change your thoughts, change your life. And that was the 42nd verse of the Tao, which I just opened to. And I think that it's a beautiful way for us to remember to just be. Now I'm going to welcome to the screen Andi and Jonathan Goldman. Welcome. It is so beautiful to see you both. Welcome back to Spirituality Gone Wild.
Oh, Debbie, we are delighted to be back and just delighted to share with you today. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's just such a glorious honor to have you both, and I'm always excited. So let me bring your website up so you all can just grab a hold of that right now as we get going. And thehealingsounds.com is where you find the beautiful work of Andi and Jonathan Goldman, literally the world's most renowned sound healers that have ever graced the planet. And if you don't believe me, just go to the website and check it out. It's amazing. But today we're going to really get into some exciting things that are going on because, see, right before we got started, they shared with me some glorious things that they've got, some brand new tools, and I can't wait to see these. Honestly, I'm so excited. I can hardly stand it because they're tuning forks, and everyone knows I love tuning forks. So welcome, and let's jump right in.
All right.
Hi, Debbie, and amazing as we're doing this at this very second. The tuning forks that we're going to be talking about are literally the, shall we say, e-blast is being sent out because we try to time it to 11:11, and it's 11:10 our time, which is when we had to schedule it going. So as we're even talking about it, so we send a full of love and light through sound, on this, so that many people can benefit from these tuning forks that actually date back. We began using them more than 20 years ago at our Healing Sounds Intensive. We only made them available there. We've never made them available as these are to the public until now.
And these tuning forks that we're talking about were specially designed to be used at our intensive, along with the plethora of other tuning forks that we have. So these are really special tuning forks.
So
can you have them, yeah?
We do, but I want to do a little thing. So
okay,
just sort of as a little quick backtrack, there are two ways that sound affects us. One is called psychoacoustics. This means the sound goes into your ears, into your brain, affecting your respiration, heart rate, brain waves. And for example, there are tuning forks that are really delightful for that. And these are wonderful, and these work with the sacred ratio of 2 to 3, which is called the perfect fifth. And just really, it balances your energy field, your brain waves, your nervous system, and just, wow, Andi, you should check this out. Just in 30 seconds or less, I can feel all sorts of calmness. Would you like
and also, I want to share with you, Debbie, and our audience that these tuning forks, which are used really for the auric, the etheric field, honestly, every morning I give myself a tuning fork healing. It takes seconds, and the left and the right hemispheres of the brain are balanced, and you just balance those chakras. So these are psychoacoustic tuning forks.
And they're not the ones that are being released today, though, because the other way, not to confuse you, but
I'm just giving a little background.
Right, the other way that sound can affect you is that it's called vibroacoustics and goes into your body, affecting you on a deep cellular healing. And we created these tuning forks that use the same, what are called ratio. There's still the sacred ratio of 2 to 3 that the ancient Greek philosopher and mathematician Pythagoras found to be the most healing and harmonious. But these are designed to be struck on the surface. You can see they're a little different. They got the little, round things on the end. That means they vibrate a whole lot more. And they vibrate in a very deeper level, what are called low frequency sounds that basically work as a vibroacoustic tool to go into your cells. So the way that you would use these, and I'll just give you a little example as you hit them, and then they're vibrating so low that you can't probably hear them, but I can feel them, and then I put them on, and I feel my cells being saturated. You put them on acupuncture meridians, acupressure meridians, reflexology points, trigger points, all sorts of different places. And we include actually a little chart in our book of places that you can do this. And they're just wonderful, putting these low frequency vibroacoustic sounds into your body.
And Debbie, they are so what we like about them is that they're so powerful, yet they are very, very easy to use once you get them vibrating. And with the kit that we are launching today, we have this wonderful, I don't know if you can see this or not, but Sacred Ratio
Vibrotuners.
And we have this booklet that really goes in depth explaining how we created them. And Jonathan was just mentioning there's a chart that has different points that you can, different meridian points, acupuncture, acupressure points. So they are great little healing implements.
It's a great way to give yourself a sonic massage. And what's so wonderful is that we're really finding a time when sound is really getting into mainstream consciousness.
Isn't it great? I'm loving this. So let's take a dive into explaining why that sound frequency works when it hits the cells in our body.
Basic concept is basically that everything in the universe is in a state of vibration. From the electrons moving around the nucleus of an atom to planets and distant galaxies moving around the sun, they're all in a state of vibration, and this vibration can be conceived of as being sound. And in fact, our ancient mystics and our modern physicists are in agreement. Everything is in sound. And this includes all the different parts of our body. Every organ, every bone, every tissue, every part of our body is in a state of vibration. And when we are in a state where everything is vibrating in a state of harmony and what they call state of resonance, we say we are in sound health. And this is, if you like, akin to our body being like an orchestra, and the orchestra is playing the symphony of the self. And we are in a state of health. But what happens if the second violin player loses their sheet music? They begin to vibrate out of ease, out of harmony. Pretty soon the entire orchestra is playing off a little bit. And this is akin, if you like, to a part of our body vibrating out of ease. Out of harmony, we say it's dis-ease. So the basic principle of using sound for healing is simply that what if we could give this orchestra string player back their sheet music? What if we could somehow restore that correct vibrational resonance to our body?
And sorry about that little ringing sound.
Well, it's just sound.
It's just sound.
It's just sound.
So we just flow with it. But Debbie, what I want to add to that, what Jonathan was just saying about our bodies, when our bodies are in harmony and resonance, we are feeling not out of kilter, but we are in sound health. And what I'd like to do is add another layer to that and let people know that we have got not only a physical body, but we have got an emotional body, a mental body, a spiritual body. They are all connected. And so when our physical body is in sound health, guess what? That vibrates and resonates into those other bodies that we have that we cannot see, but we can certainly feel.
Oh, this is exciting. So to reiterate, what I'm hearing is if we want to have sound health, you ever said that? I have sound health. Then to truly step into it, you're clearing your auric field, you're clearing everything. You're clearing your from the inside out, physically, literally. I also heard that it is the way to get back to your own soul's harmony, that we each have our own melody, and that if we're all playing in harmony, then the orchestra sounds wonderful. But I used to be in the orchestra, so I'm listening to that thinking, yep, if one person's off, and that's beautiful. So what happens when we're able to, I feel, if we can use this mythology in the morning, I'm imagining right now what it must be like to get up then and start your day. Can you all imagine that are watching right now what it must be like to get up if you've just set your harmonic frequency into perfect alignment with your own body? Now we've been talking about the tuning forks. Here's one of the other things though with the tuning forks I want to talk about, putting them on the meridian point. So one of the things that I think that is really cool about that, EFT, NLP, do you use can you use affirmations with it? Does it do anything? And I love this because I see that can you guys imagine, look, if you're tapping, what in the world's going to happen if you put the weighted tuning fork on that at the right frequency? I think it's going to set it in. I think it's going to amplify anything that I love y'all EFTers, but I think it's going to amplify what EFT could do, or NLP, and take those practices higher. What do y'all think?
Absolutely. I'm a tapper. I love tapping too, Debbie. I do my tapping, just pretty regularly. But if you take these tuning forks and put them on the points, my gosh, it vibrates into your body. So it is indeed amplifying the frequencies that are being activated through that tapping. And as we know, hormones are released and we come into balance. I mean, and that is why we tap and find it so powerful. So that was a great point. Think about putting these tuning forks there. Yeah.
It's a wonderful idea. And basically, it's just the fact that you're putting some sort of vibration. Tapping is great because tapping creates a mechanical vibration. Tuning forks just happen to be somewhat more powerful.
I'm thinking. I personally love tuning forks. I'm excited about the new tuning forks that you have coming forward. And let's give another example with them. They are for sale right now. Can they just go get them right here at healingsounds.com?
Absolutely.
Yes, they can. They're going to have to basically put in probably the word vibro tuners, because we have so many different tuning forks and or sacred ratio vibro tuners, but they're there and they're actually on sale now. This is not a pitch for the
no, this wasn't planned. This is what you can't make this up.
No.
But
they're really very cool, and you can also just use them individually. If you have, let's say, an owie, you strain yourself, you put it on there, and it'll massage the muscle. It'll massage that part of the body that's got the owie. The only, if you like, caveat is if you have a broken bone, don't use it, because believe it or not, a while ago, before they had X-rays, or in places where they do not have X-ray machines, if somebody has a pain, like they cracked the bone, a major test to see if the bone is broken is you take the tuning fork, you hit it, you apply it to wherever it is, and if you have to pull the person off the ceiling, the bone is broken, and you don't want to put a tuning fork there anymore.
But
isn't that interesting?
That's actually quite interesting, and I'm imagining that's like it's broken, so there's nowhere for the vibration to go. So because it's split, so then it's just I mean, that's just it's gonna send the pain signals everywhere. Let's not even do that. Let's just never ever do that. We've all decided we're not going to use it for that. However, what we are going to use it for is to recenter yourself and get back into alignment. And this is super exciting to just get back to your melody. I think that was my favorite part about everything that we're talking about, is that this is encouraging one to get present, one to understand that they have everything within them that they need. So tell me something that has happened that is just mind-blowing for you when you use sound.
Wow.
Yesterday I had the experience of, hold on for a second. I had to clear my throat and didn't want to rip roar through that.
With the sound.
Right. I had the experience of just sitting in meditation and realizing that oftentimes, even though I'm in meditation, other thoughts come in. And I was thinking, golly gee. And then I began to simply, employ our humming technique that we're going to be talking about shortly. And I found that when I was humming, I didn't have these extraneous thoughts. In other words, I was so focused on the hum itself and the experience of humming that that's all that I could do. Now, people talk about focusing on breath and breathing and doing that. And that's great and wonderful. For myself, when I'm breathing, I can still have extraneous thoughts, even though I'm focusing on the breath. But for me, I couldn't do that when I was humming. I had to be totally, totally focused and present on the hum.
But But Debbie, I think, when, the question of, can we, share some examples of where sound has really been, profound. And I honestly think that being able to have the awareness that we can, whether it is through a tuning fork, whether it's through our own voice, that anytime we are out of balance, anytime that we are feeling stressed and frustrated and angry and upset, that we literally can use sound to bring us into a state of inner coherence. And I think that that's really the beauty of sound, because, there are, obviously we've had people with testimonials that have, been, profound,
healed of major chronic illnesses.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that is wonderful. But we always go back to that. We are all unique vibratory beings. And so we're all going to be affected by sound in our own unique way. And so just having the awareness that sound can really help shift and change our consciousness, our bodies, our minds, our spirits. That is, to me, the most profound ever about sound.
I love both of you so much. That was just glorious. Thank you for sharing this insight already. I'm in a moment of so much gratitude right now, just so much gratefulness.
Well, we are too. We are too.
I was a musician. I started when I was little. I was a musician. I was born a musician. I played guitar. I started playing. I was really young, maybe 7. But I was a natural. And then I played clarinet. I was a natural. I could sit down at a piano and play. Music and sound has always been so important to me. So right now I'm just sitting here listening to both of you and what you're teaching and the heart print that you're leaving on this planet through this knowledge, and appreciating you so tremendously from that part of me that just understands music, but that part of me that knows how important that this message is to get out. And I just thank you so much. And in fact, I really want to share something really wonderful. I'm going to cover you both up here for a second. Right now, you can go right on over to the Healing Sounds and you can get this wonderful free 7-minute chakra tune-up. You can also find it in the Grateful Living Easing, which they are gracing the cover. Aren't they gorgeous? Look at this. Look at this. I love this. And that is at spiritualitygonewild.com, and it's Grateful Living, but you can also just go direct to their website and get that wonderful meditation and start there. There's a couple other tricks too. They're everywhere. Everywhere. Alexa, play Jonathan. Oh, I better not say it too loud. She'll hear me. She heard me, dang it. Or you could buy it right here.
No, I just wanted to show you that's one of our more popular. It's a composite. It's called Frequencies.
Can you put that back up? Let's look at that, guys.
This is actually Frequencies 2. There is a Frequencies 1. I love that. Do you know what this is? It's a picture of our logo against the sun. I love it.
Oh, I love that. Actually, look at this logo. So do you guys see the treble sound, the trebles in there? This is gorgeous. Oh my God, I love this logo.
And then
you've got the
angel wings at the top.
Well, that's the G clef going into the caduceus.
Yeah.
That is wow. I just had to tell Alexa to be quiet.
Thank you so much.
She literally just came on again, and then in the background I hear Okay, so my morning now is this. Seriously, my morning is that I right now I'm studying the Tao Te Ching through glorious Dr. Wayne Dyer's eyes, which I loved him so much.
Loved him. Loved him.
Oh,
Mm.
beautiful work. And that I have my tuning forks, and I have my Andi and Jonathan Goldman sound healing, and that's how you start your day. Seriously, there is how that you put a practice into place that's going to shift everything about your life. That's so simple is the work that they have put out. Your work in particular, both of you, had this is how that people can change their lives. Also, the shift of thought, of course, because that's our perspective,
Yeah.
But let's dive into another aspect of what you do, which is something I truly appreciate, and that is using your own body for healing. And we talked about the amplification of using external instruments like the tuning forks and the wonderful Vibrasound tuning forks that you have on sale today right now at healingsounds.com. But let's talk about using your voice and humming, because you have a wonderful book that I am excited about and I love. Actually, I bought it. It's called The Humming Effect.
Oh. And Debbie, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing how our work has affected you, because that way, that message can get out, that it can affect our listeners, in those very simple, very profound, healing and loving ways. And so I do have a copy of our book that I will hold up. It is called The Humming Effect. There we go. Sound Healing for Health and Happiness. And Jonathan and I wrote this book together.
I want to read the quote from Bruce Lipton, author of The Biology of Belief. Wonderful man, wonderful book. I highly recommend The Humming Effect for all those impacted by the stress of the modern world. It is a powerful, non-pharmaceutical prescription for self-healing that has only positive side effects such as harmony, health, and healing.
So thank you to Bruce.
Thank you, Bruce.
Bruce Lipton. We love you, Bruce. And this is such a great quote. And I love that he said non-pharmaceutical, because that to me is one of the major keys in utilizing your own voice, i.e. through humming, through what we have shared in our book. And we wrote this book. Gosh, it took us years to do, because who would think that humming could be a complex topic? And believe it or not, it is. And talk about that first chapter, honey.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because, Debbie, I've been in this field for 45 years. Andy's been in it for 25. That's a combined total of 65. Oh, my God. And we've taught all sorts of things, from a divine name, a harmonically related series of frequencies that resonate your vowel sounds and your chakras, but Tibetan deep voice, don't teach that much, demonstrate it. But, and all sorts of other, vowels as mantras to resonate the chakras, et cetera. And they're all wonderful and all great, but oftentimes simply because of things such as a lot of the entertainment shows like American Idol or The Voice or whatnot, people get very much, they now are professional judges, and, they'll listen to something and go, that's out of tune, that's pitchy, that's whatnot, which I guess is a lot of fun if you're trying to perhaps make it as a professional commercial vocalist, but not if you want to use sound on your body for healing, because that's entertainment. We're talking about entrainment, which is the ability of one sound to affect another sound. And literally, people would get so judgmental about any sound that they made. Oh, I'm not making a good sound. And we said, okay, what's the one sound that people will make and they won't be judgmental of? And we looked at each other and we went,
Go! Oh my God, I love you too.
Because everyone hums.
Everyone hums.
the elderly hum, and we hum when we're happy, and humming is a great natural self-soothing technique. But what we did, because we began to investigate that, okay, what is it about the hum? And as we investigated deeper and deeper, we found actually that it was a profound and powerful spiritual practice, as well as having incredible therapeutic benefits. And what we did, the first chapter, so that people would take this subject seriously, because this is the first book professionally published on the subject of humming, we made the first chapter nothing more or less than peer-reviewed scientific and medical information on the therapeutic benefits of the hum.
And so that was how we started our book, because it is such a simple technique. You know, like Jonathan was just saying, everyone can hum, and we hum from the time we are little babies until we are elderly. And so everyone can do it. But what we do, Debbie, is we call it conscious humming. And so when we are really utilizing it as a practice consciously, it is a little bit different in that the intention of whatever we're working with is encoded onto that. You know, I mean, you can, just hum, humming around, cleaning the house or whatever. But when you sit down with an intention to actually do a conscious practice with humming, it's a little bit different in that it is a vibro-acoustic way of working with your own voice, working with your own sound. It really, it's like having an internal massage.
Totally. And one of the extraordinary things, it's fine if you want to hum zippity-doo-dah, great, but really paying it, just humming on one tone with, we like to suggest, eyes closed, back straight, taking some nice deep breaths, and then just wow. And even that one affected me, because it's very different. And you get, among other things, lowering of your heart rate, lowering of your respiration, your breath, lowering of your blood pressure, oftentimes many points to the degree of almost like a pharmaceutical would do the same thing. And this is actually scientifically validated. It's one of the key ways that you can basically achieve heart rate variability and get your vagal toning, your vagus nerve, to be in a really primary condition. That's the nerve that runs throughout the body, particularly affecting our heart rate and our respiration. So these are all, and then you get also, just because we're on a roll talking about the power of the hum, you also have other things such as
melatonin is released. And, night before last, I was having trouble sleeping. So I just started humming. And of course, along with that hum, we do take a nice diaphragmatic breath. You want your body to support your sound. So breathing is also an important component of conscious humming. But melatonin is released. And also, Debbie, the three of us we were just now, humming together, what we maybe not have known consciously, but what was happening physically is that the hormone oxytocin was released, and that is the trust hormone. And so when people are humming, that, that deep trust occurs as well, which is pretty significant. And also, there's another very important molecule that is getting a lot of press these days, and that is nitric oxide.
Our friend nitric oxide, which is not nitrous oxide, which we sometimes may experience in the dentist's office, and that's fine, but this is nitric oxide, which is a vasodilator, which means basically that it loosens up your circulatory system so that the oxygen and blood and all the other nutrients in your circulatory system are able to work more easily. And also, nitric oxide has been found to be an antiviral agent. So particularly when you hum, and if you nasalize the hum a little bit and you close your eyes and you're basically humming in your sinus cavity, well, that was very powerful for a number of different reasons, but one of them was the fact that I got the release of nitric oxide, and nitric oxide is once again, an antiviral agent. A lot of, shall we say, nasty critters first encode themselves in the nasal cavity before they travel to other parts of the body. So, for example, nitric oxide and humming has been found to be effective for use with sinusitis, for example. In fact, some people claim that it is the most effective tool, even better than many pharmaceuticals. So I would just like to bless it. We would think that pharmaceuticals, when they are necessary, are incredible life-saving vehicles. But at the same time, what a way to empower yourself to do some healing and healthful practices.
Mm. I am appreciating all of this. We have a great audience. There's somebody here who absolutely loves you. Her name is Kathy Mason.
Kathy, oh my gosh. And we totally love Kathy Mason right back.
Isn't that wonderful?
Oh, Kathy is just such a special soul.
Totally.
Love you, Kathy.
I love her too. We have so much fun together, and I appreciate her so much because she introduced me to both of you, and it's been just such a beautiful experience every single time I get to be with both of you. So we're learning a whole lot of things about humming. Now I want to talk about the using this as a couple, using this to connect with each other. I want to know more about humming and how that we as human beings can use this in communication and connection.
Great.
Actually, connection before we get to communication.
Okay, Andy, get the Chakra Frequencies book, because
Okay.
I can just hold this up.
So Debbie, in our other book that we co-authored, Chakra Frequencies,
Award-winning.
both of the books won the Best Alternative Health Book Award of the Year. This one, I think, in 2006.
No, 2012.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And anyway, and
the
then
years pass us by.
But at any rate, in that book, we have a great example of a technique that people can use together, whether, it's your partner, whether it's your spouse, whether it's your children, whether it's, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, it doesn't matter. But someone that you are in a relationship with that's important to you. And what you do is ahead of time, you set out you talk about, listen, when I get into a really bad place, I'm really upset, you've maybe inadvertently done something that's affected me and I'm upset, etc. Ahead of time, you say, okay, honey, when that happens, we want to remember to sound together. We want to remember to hum together, to om together. And we sort of make that, that contract, that verbal contract is made way ahead of time. So then, hey, you are in it. You are in that situation. And you just, we've all been there. We all know.
Story time.
What it is like. And, it's like, gosh, I'm like so upset. Oh my gosh, Jonathan, would you hum with me? We've got to om. We have got to om. We have got to hum. And we'll hold hands, Debbie, and even if it's really hard because we're really upset with each other for whatever reason, we start humming together or oming together, honestly, within a couple of minutes.
At best.
And this has happened over and over. We will start to chuckle and we will go, oh my gosh, thank you, honey. I don't even remember what I was so upset about. That is how quickly and powerfully the sound can, because it's once again, Oxytocin is released, nitric oxide, our blood pressure
And
is
you get in
lower.
resonance with each other.
Mm-hmm. And we can share that technique because we have used
We
that.
do it all the time.
Well,
not all the time. But when
we need
get,
it, but not all the time.
over the years, we have done it on occasion. But it's really, it's really interesting because when you get ticked off the other person, the last thing you want to do, you want to use sound, but you don't necessarily want to use sound on a positive therapeutic level. You might want to call that person a so-and-so, and you so-and-so, and you did this and that, and all of a sudden it just, accelerates the situation. But if somebody says, hey, honey, hum with me, and you have to have made the agreement to do it beforehand, because otherwise you're not going to want to do it. And it's sometimes really forceful, and we'll be like, listen, all of a sudden go,
and we'll hold hands, and we see we've made this agreement ahead of time. So, one or the other will say, come on, we are going to do this. And we then will. So people out there listening to this, it is really a valuable technique to shifting the energy of being upset.
It's so important and so easy, and so few people know of it simply because very few people talk about it. And, it's, once again, it's a challenge to practice because, you pull up to a party and you're both ticked off at each other. You don't want to go into the party. You don't want to do anything. You want to turn the car back, go home, and just sit there and sulk, but make sound. And, there's a physiological, reason that this is going on. You're not only are you getting the release of all these wonderful, blissful neurochemicals, but your, shall we say, your nervous system is beginning to resonate and entrain and vibrate together, and all of a sudden, and it's slowing down. So that real stressful type thing gets like this. And it's real. We're telling you this because it's real, and we have practiced it, not all the time, but we have practiced it, humans.
Well, what about just connecting though? I mean, I love this. Actually, okay, so because what I did, I've heard that you say you guys are both normal humans, and I love that because I was starting to wonder, okay, so yeah, okay, they do, yes, they're good, okay, so we're safe, they're really cool, actually they're human. I love that. What I've heard you also say is that this was a request and an agreement that you make with each other, and I'm loving that, period. So to incorporate this into relationship, it sounds like it's that, I love that. So, and it's a safe, I'm seeing it as a safe container that you're building with each other in order to be able to connect. What I know is that not only can we do this with, you two can do this in relationship and you're in partnership, but we can do this with anybody and everyone who's watching now, or even watching the replay. What I do also know is, and this is from practicing the humming effect, I have the book. You all need to go get it. You need to go to healingsounds.com. I don't care if I sound like an infomercial. This is going to change your life. Do it and you can start practicing this immediately today, but everybody, let's do an experiment. Lead us through a humming, and I'm going to mute myself so it doesn't drown you out. And I'm going to join you, and everybody, if you can, they're going to take us through our proper breath, our diaphragm breath, and then through a humming, and notice how we can feel everybody's unity happen.
And Debbie, before we take everyone through that exercise, I do want to just mention that, that technique and that experience that we just shared, obviously when you're stressed, but you can use sound together to enhance your relationship. You can enhance your intimacy. You can sound together to feel so connected with each other. So I do want to say it's both and.
And you also do it with anybody because it's an intimacy on a deep spiritual, emotional level that, you can do it with friends.
Children,
your children, if there's,
oh my goodness.
Whatever. I mean, what a great thing. And just, we're going to do 3 conscious hums. And we're just going to suggest that Normally we do a lot more. We're just going to do 3. We want everybody to first check themselves out and hum along with us. You don't have to match our pitch. You don't have to do anything. The only thing that you have to do when you make a hum, it's the only thing we say, you got to have your lips closed. And I think we played this game last time, but bottom line is we ask you or everyone, first hum for a moment and then pinch your nose. Watch what happens.
Can't do it.
So that's because your lips are closed. So the sound is totally coming through your nasal cavity, et cetera. So everyone who's going to be doing this now and forevermore, just, have your lips closed. And now, Andi, lead them for a bit.
Yes. And also another thing to remember is that louder is not better. You don't have to, have this booming loudness. It's just whatever is in your comfort zone for you. Usually that's what we recommend. But
one last thing. We haven't talked about intention. It's a whole nother subject. Wayne Dyer, big into intention.
Yeah.
A lot of people. We'd like to say that the most powerful healing sound intention is that of love, gratitude, appreciation, compassion.
Yes.
So when we're making the sound today, be aware of where it's vibrating in your head, but also, if you can, encode on it the energy of love and gratitude. It will really amplify the experience even more.
So what I'd like to do is ask everyone, if you can, to sit up with your back straight and close your eyes. And what we're going to do first is we're going to take a couple of nice deep breaths. We're going to breathe in and we're going to let that breath go with a sigh. We're going to go, letting go of anything that you don't need, anything that's really not serving you in this moment. Letting go of any stress. And just focus now on your breathing. Breathing in and out. And when you feel nice and relaxed, we will now begin to hum, and we'll do 3 hums.
And if you can, close your eyes, just because, believe it or not, just closing your eyes affects your brainwave activity and will really enhance your ability to, shall we say, be more receptive to the vibrations that you're about to make. So let's take a nice deep breath. You ready?
And we'll take that breath and we'll set the intention of that breath and that hum being filled with love. Ready?
Another. And one more. And then being in silence, because silence is the yin to the yang of sound. And it is in the place of silence the most transformational experiences occur. So just taking a couple more deep breaths and checking out any changes you may have felt in those brief 3 hums. And most people really are able to feel some sort of profound experience just through that.
And I often like to say that when we are in that silence, that is when we are able to listen to our inner wisdom.
Debbie, what was that like for you?
I just completely felt it was almost like I was swirling. It was just a soft, gentle sweep of love that came just completely through me. I felt a stronger mind and heart coherence, just in the focus on love and on gratitude. I felt just a calmness and a peace, just a peace. And to me, that's just a pure state of bliss when you're just in peace.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you
for sharing
Wow.
that, Debbie.
Yeah, it's real. Otherwise, we wouldn't be teaching it. We got too many other tools for sonic tools for transformation that we share, including recordings and tuning forks and bowls, bells, and whatnot. But really, the hum, we've been now consciously humming we've been humming all our life, but really consciously for probably a half a dozen years.
Yeah.
And it never gets old. In fact, the more you do it, the more adept you can do it, and the more you can send the self vibrations to different parts of your body. We're now at a state where we can basically make a hum and send it to anywhere. I'm just as an example, with a little shift of intention, I'm going to change the hum from vibrating. Right now, it was really vibrating in my, if you like, nasal cavity, and particularly the forehead, which is great because you get also the release of all sorts of great neurochemicals that may enhance your, shall we say, psychic ability. But I'm going to do that and just move it down to my chest. One breath, and you're probably not going to be able to note any changes in the tonality. Let's see what'll happen. So I could feel a difference in the vibration simply with the intentionality. It now may have been that micro muscles somewhere in my voice box and larynx or whatnot might have made a shift or change, but there was, for me, it went from here to here. Crazy,
you couldn't really tell a difference. So when people are humming, we just encourage people to kind of experiment and of course utilize that wonderful aspect of intention, because that can amplify, and we put the intention of love and gratitude, etc., into that humming, and it amplified it in that particular way. So when we're utilizing any kind of sound, intention really is a major key.
Right. And we are our own best laboratory. So the more you work on yourself and the more you experience it, the more real it'll be. Because you know what? If somebody else tells you something, that's great. But until you experience it for yourself, it's not real, at least from my perspective. I want the experience of something. It's easy to say something. It's really important to do it.
And then we are empowered. And that is a phenomenal thing, to be empowered with using our own voice.
Wow. And empowered is what I am feeling right now. And I'd like to share, this is amazing here. Kathy says she felt a giant letting go.
Oh, thank you, Kathy. Yes.
And then Denise, hi, Denise. Thank you. That humming was amazing. I loved feeling where the vibration was in my body. I've been practicing my lower tones of late. They're getting stronger. I love that. I love that, Denise. And I also want to say a shout out to Ian Morris from Listening to Smile. Ian is one of your biggest fans.
Thank
and
you.
I love that. Hi, Ian. We love you. I remember actually he introduced me. He had told me about your work years ago, and I didn't put the correlation until Kathy. And then I met you, and I'm like, ding, 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 ding. Oh, that's right. It was pretty super cool. I want to thank you both. I want to just go over really quickly a couple of the ways that you all can find these gorgeous, gorgeous individuals here. We have Grateful Living Easing, and this current edition is almost at its end. So please go check it out so that you can go ahead and get your free 7-minute chakra tune-up, which is also available directly on the website. You just go to healingsounds.com. What I'm going to ask everyone to do is to please support the work of Andi and Jonathan Goldman. This is extremely important because this work is how you can heal your body. I'm telling you right now, I'm just going to tell you my experience. So I had Andi on Unify Women Rising, which will be coming out soon. And we were doing some humming, and then I kept doing the humming. And here's what I discovered. My weight dropping. I'm serious. This is,
Wow.
y'all, I was like, what?
Wow.
What? Because I'm getting ready to walk off my COVID pounds. I'm telling you what. And I mean, we're doing, but we're going to be using this music. We're going to be using the Humming Effect book. We're going to be using all of the tools that both of you have brought forward today in this journey. But I'm noticing that my body is releasing that which no longer serves it. And I think that is one of the most important things that have ever happened. I will tell you, you all need the book. You need to understand what's happening in the body. Now, for me, I wouldn't even do juicing until I had to research it to understand how come it's going to work. Why is this going to work? Oh, because it's microcytic. I see. Aha. Yeah, I got it. Okay. Same with sound. I need to understand, how is this functioning in the cells? How does this change this? And you have all of this information available in the books you've written and in all the work that you're doing. You back it up with scientific research, but this is literally nature's gift to everyone through Andi and Jonathan Goldman. So I encourage all of you to go to healingsounds.com and get yourself a copy of any of their books. Order the brand new, one more time, let's show your Vibrasound, your brand new, on sale today, just released.
Just today.
Right here. Sacred Ratio Vibro Tuners.
Oh.
Put those on your brain. Okay.
They're
So
very cool.
they look really cool, and I love that. And I love both of you tremendously. And I want to thank you so much for being here.
Debbie, and we just love you right back and want to thank you so much for having us. And a special shout out to all the lovely people who joined us today or who will be joining us, and love that Kathy was part of this, and just love you and thank you from our hearts to your heart.
And we drink a Cuppa Grata to you.
Cuppa Grata with a shot of expression and 3 squirts of reality. I'll drink my cup of water, my Cuppa Grata water.
Oh.
Actually, I love that. Who are you grateful for?
Oh, wow. I mean, the first thing that came to mind was, I'm grateful for Andi. By gosh and by golly. Oh, my goodness gracious. You have no idea.
Oh, you too. I want, okay, y'all, if you're single like me, this is what we are striving for right here.
Oh, Debbie, thank you. It's, that beautiful soul connection that we are grateful for absolute sure. And I'm just grateful that we've had this opportunity to share what, our major focus really is to be of service in any way possible. So this has been a beautiful opportunity, and I am grateful to you for that.
Thank you. And that is the question of the hour. Who are you grateful for? Everybody go out there and leave some heart prints on this planet. That's your job today. Love you. Peace.